Welcome to the Radiate Health and Wellness Podcast. So in today's episode, I have a guest, Rachel Ross. So she is going to show some great tips and tricks on staying out of pain, a way to release stuck knots in our body and just loosen muscles, stay out of pain, gain balance, strength, and really live a life where we can really enjoy being active and have fun. Aloha. Welcome to the Radiate Health and Wellness Podcast, where we explore the vibrant world of health and well-being. I'm your host, Christine D. Ross, a board-certified health and wellness coach specializing in behavior change and nutrition, and author of Discover the Adventure of You and Health Beings. Join me as we uncover inspiring stories, practical tips, and transformative insights to assist you on your journey to radiate health and wellness.
Please note that the views, beliefs, and opinions shared by our guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views, beliefs, and opinions of Coach Christine or Radiate Health and Wellness.
Rachel, I would like to thank you for coming on today, and I am just so excited to learn more about what you do and how you can really assist people with getting out of their pain in a holistic way so they don't have to go to that pharmaceutical just concoction and drug themselves.
I call it a pharmaceutical fun house.
Well, that's a great way to put it. So yeah, Rachel, please tell me a little bit about yourself. I'm sure you can introduce yourself so much better than I can.
Yeah, thank you so much. So my original degrees are in kinesiology with an emphasis in physical therapy. And I studied for a lot of years under a healer. I'm also a certified nutritionist and a personal trainer. I have a in-home personal training company called Concierge Personal Training. So we do in-home and online personal training services. And we have body workers, massage therapists, in-home trainers, and online Zoom trainers. We predominantly service people 55 and older, but really, I mean, the difference between our company and other companies, what sets us apart is that we really take a more holistic approach in trying to help people break free from joint pain. We found some wonderful methods and techniques using therapeutic type exercises that if we can loosen up the muscles that surround the joints by something called myofascial release, that the joints are in a lot less pain. And when people are in a lot less pain, they work out continuously. And most of the time, it's the pain that stops people. It's the pain that makes people get low energy and not want to do anything. It's not that people don't want to do anything. It's that they don't have the energy to do it because the pain just drags on you. So when we can
Right,
get
it
people,
hurts.
yeah, it hurts. And you don't realize what a mental toll that takes on you every day, that naggingness. So when we can get people to be pain-free or even to reduce pain and inflammation in their body, they're able to stay with workouts for a lifetime. And that's really been the key to our success and to the success of our clients. So what I really want to do is just bring this message to the world now with Zoom, that we can service anyone. We can service anyone anywhere now. And using these simple techniques, these at-home techniques that everyone can apply, it has been such an addition and transition for us and for our company and for my personal growth.
Wow, yeah, sounds like a lot. So first of all, where are you located, Rachel?
So we're in San Diego, California. So we service all of San Diego for in-home personal training. And then we do the online services as well. But personally, I'm in Carlsbad, so I'm near the beach.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So you're able to work next to the beach and be able to go online with Zoom links and really help people anywhere in the world. So,
Yeah.
wow, just what a miracle and blessing that the internet can be. So, yeah, wonderful. So, and Rachel, just it was kind of funny. We met on social media, both named Ross, and
Yeah.
it's just, yeah, there's not too many Rosses out there. So it's kind
But
of
like
fun
it's meant to be.
yeah, kind of fun to meet somebody else with a Ross. And I don't think that there is any connection, at least that I know of, between my husband's family and where your Ross name comes from. But
Yeah,
fun.
my husband's family.
Well, somewhere in the bloodline, they're all connected. We all are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with a fascia tissue, can you go a little bit more into depth of what exactly that is? Because it sounds like that's part of one of your key steps to really relieving pain.
Yeah, so what fascia tissue is, it's a fibrous tissue that is white. It looks like a spider web, and basically it interlays itself between the layers of your muscle. So a lot of times you'll have people refer to them in layman terms as like knots, like you get these knots kind of located all over your body. And it's because of repetitive motions. Like we tend to do a lot of the same things over and over again, and or just aging in general, different buildups of like arthritis or different blunt force trauma can cause the fascia tissue to accumulate, and then basically it comes to collect to protect an area because it doesn't want you to use that area, but then your body doesn't really have a way of cleaning it out. So this is a method designed to help release it and clean it out, but we do it in a way that we hope is not super painful for people. When myofascial release first hit the market, it was working and it was effective, but it was real painful. So I find that it's better to let the person be the guide of the myofascial release session, and let their body guide us through what needs to be released and where, because your body knows better than anybody else knows, and it can help guide us through, like, oh, now this feels tight. And I always tell people, like, their neck will hurt or their shoulder, and then as soon as we fix the shoulder, oh, now this hurts, now my hip hurts. It's not that we hurt the hip, it's just that now your body can only register so much pain at one time. So once the shoulder is better, then your body's like, oh no, now I need to fix this hip, because it really wants the release. It wants to feel that relief, and it knows it's going to get it. So like the pain receptors light up in the new area, and that tells us where to go.
Okay. So to begin with, so the fascia tissue, when I go and get a massage and masseuse is like, oh yeah, there's like a big knot in here and there's like rubbing that out. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're
So,
talking about.
okay, so you're giving tools for us to be able to dig in and know how to release that on our own bodies.
Yes. Yeah. So I brought a tool too today to show you, to give you a little demo online of something that you can do at home or at your office if you want to see it.
Okay, yes. Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
ready for that?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is a wonderful tool we use all the time. It's just a
A
baker's rolling
rolling
pin.
pin. Yes.
Yeah. So what's great about this is that everybody has one. And if you don't, they're cheap. It's $9 on Amazon, and we can vary the level of degrees using a baker's rolling pin. So this is one of the key things that we use all the time for people to be able to do this at home by themselves. And what we do is, if it's too intense for people, we wrap a towel around it, and that helps to, vary the level of intensity. So depending on the size of the towel, it's going to be fluffier, or it's going to be real hard if you don't put a towel on it at all. So like one of the ones that people commonly deal with is tight neck pain here, and top of the shoulder pain just from working or just everyday life stress or sleeping funny. We find that this one is great. So all you do is you take the pin, you go over and then side, and you'll see that it's just nice and easy. You can start to loosen up. This is the sternocleidomastoid muscle back here. And when you find something that's tight, you hold still on it. So first you move around just to try to find where the tightness is located. And then once you find it, you hold still and you press in, and then you can change the angle. So now I'm going kind of more for the scalene muscles over here. So you can change the angle to make it go all the way forward. And then you can also do the back side of the neck. You just want to avoid pushing directly on the spine. And you can also do the top of the shoulder from this angle as well.
Wow, that looks
So
so nice. I want to run to my kitchen
yeah, it
right now
feels
and grab
really
my rolling
good.
pin and yes.
Yeah. Like all my clients are sitting at their desks and they have their rolling pin, they're charting, they roll. I have a client that is a dentist, and she's like, this is a lifesaver for me, because, the dentists are all hunched over and they're like this. And so just wonderful to use some different exercises with the rolling pin. Another great one is to take the pin and put it between the shoulder blade and the spine. So it's in the muscles located next to the shoulder blade where the bone drops off and before it hits the spine, and it sticks out at the top. So for this one, you would be laying on your back and you would lift the arm up and make different shapes with the arm. So we call it ITY. So you lift it up and you go I shape, and then you go outward. This is T shape. And then you go this way, and this is Y shape. And so that really brings a lot of openness and shoulder mobility, upper back loosening, because a lot of times it's not just the muscles directly that are tight, it's that there's further muscles that are tight that are pulling on joints. And so we want to be sure to get the root cause of the problem. So just another great shoulder opening. And then this way you can get the pectoralis minor. So this is the lower part of the chest that tends to get really tight on people, that anybody that leans forward or, is riding, or lots of different professions get tightness in the chest. So a lot of times when the pectoralis minor, when the lower part of the chest gets tight, basically it'll pull the whole shoulder forward. So loosening up those muscles and maybe doing something like a doorway stretch where you put your elbows up in a doorway and then step forward. That really helps to open these muscles, just opening up of the upper back, neck, and shoulders. And even I can feel it right now. The blood just, it goes right to your head. It feels really good. And it makes you feel like a little bit floaty, light, gives you a little more clarity. And you can feel that the blood is actually being able to circulate now in your body.
Wow, that sounds nice. Yeah, I get these knots in my shoulder blades there. So yeah, that sounds great. But it's probably from like a lot of typing and yard work. But yeah, that sounds like a great exercise for there. So there's so
Yeah,
many people with lower back issues. Do you have any
yeah.
tips and tricks for that?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I mean, we use this on all the different parts of the body, but a great one is to basically put the pin horizontal. And for the lower back, the number one area that tends to get tight is called your piriformis muscle, which is located right below where the belt line would be. So for that particular muscle, I always suggest people, if they're just starting out, they probably want to wrap the towel around the rolling pin, and you'll decide the size. If it's like a hand towel size, it's going to be a little more intense, or if it's like a beach towel size, it's going to be way less intense. Or if this is too intense to start, they can just wrap a towel on itself. And some people start there. So I would suggest, if you're somebody that is taking blood thinners, or you're a senior adult that bruises easily, I would suggest starting with the towel and wrapping the towel inside itself. And basically you want to put the pin roller so that it's just located on one side of the spine. So we don't want the pin roller on the spine. So the pin roller is located on one side of the spine, and then so you put it underneath you, you're laying on your back, and lift your body on top of it with your knees bent, and then you're going to rotate outward on the pin roller itself. And I prefer these versus foam rollers, because foam rollers, you're so much higher off the ground, and you're really working your core and you're balancing, and only so many people can do that. But with this, pretty much anybody, as long as you can get on and off the ground, anybody can do it. And or you can do it seated. It's not as effective to do it seated, but you can do it seated. So you're sitting in a chair, and basically you put the pin roller underneath you in the chair, and then just rotate your hip sideways and outward. And that's a great one for people that are in wheelchairs, just to get that loosening of the lower back. You can also just physically take the pin roller to loosen the side of your back too, and that can give you a tremendous amount of relief. But with the low back, there's so many different things that could be an issue with it. Usually it's the piriformis. That's the number one. That's the one we always go to. But there are other muscles that are only accessed from the front. For example, the psoas muscle, that is accessed from the front, but goes through the body and hooks into around L5, L6, which is like the lower back, and basically pulls the back. So there's lots of different techniques that we use with the rolling pin, and or that people can do at home for the various muscles. So we offer a first complimentary session so we can help people, kind of diagnose the issues, and we can figure out where the tightness is actually located in their body, and give them the right exercises to do with it. But I do have a free ebook that is available for everybody that has lots of videos, recipes, exercises, all that kind of thing to
Yay.
help people navigate this. But a wonderful tool and great to use at home.
Hey, well, and you bring up recipes, so now my mind's going. Maybe it's because it's getting close to lunchtime here, but it's like, all right, tell me about those recipes. What do you have cooking in them?
Yeah. So, I mean, the big things, to being pain free, it's really a two-step process. One is, loosening up the muscles and getting the body, situated and healthy. And then the other part is using an anti-inflammatory diet, and food, it's all on a spectrum of, worse to really great, so you can have, foods that fall in varying levels. But in my free ebook, I included basically just a bunch of recipes and things that really help to alkaline the body, such as like different types of chicken soup bone broth or grain-free noodles. I love to cook with these things. They are fabulous. It's like 5 calories per pack, and I just change up the sauce and just throw in different things, vegetables or a different type of meat, and it changes it up for me. And so what that does is not only does it make you feel full throughout the whole day, but it also leaves your body in a state of reducing inflammation. So it's like a 2-for-1. And, they're 5 calories. So if you have it 3 times a week, it's like, even including the sauce, you're usually at a deficit of 300 calories per. It's like everything is
Right.
done like a math. You're at a deficit of 300 calories per meal. So it's like that's 900 calories for the weeks that you're down, so it can making these small changes can make such a huge difference to your body, to the health of your body, to the inflammation in your body, and and help you to lose weight too. It's like an added bonus, a side effect.
Yeah, yeah, well, I definitely am a big believer in food as our medicine, and what we fuel our body with shows up with how we feel physically and emotionally. Intelligence, I mean, it fuels our brain, everything. And yeah, just being conscious of what we're putting into our bodies, whether it's something that's going to cause inflammation, cause disease, or allow our bodies to be at ease. So one of the things that you brought up was grain-free pasta. So now in the anti-inflammatory diets, a lot of people know, okay, it's mostly fruits and vegetables and nuts and grains and really whole foods versus everything that comes in packages and boxes and convenience. But you brought up grains. So what is your stand on grains and reasoning why to do more of a grain-free pasta?
I would say, grains, on any level, they're going to cause some inflammation in everyone's body. So for myself personally, I tend to be more grain free and gluten free. Now, in addition to that, I like to stress for people to strive to live about an 80-20 lifestyle, where you're 80% of the time you're using anti-inflammatory foods. That's what you use for lunch and to meal prep. But 20% of the time you're going out to dinner and you're going to have a nice glass of wine, and it's your birthday and you're going to have some cake. You don't need to eat the whole cake, but have a slice. That's got to be part of your healthy living as well. But I tend to stay more grain free and gluten free for my clients and for myself personally, because if you have any sort of issue at all, like if your bladder is overactive, if you have knee pain, if you have hip pain, acidic foods are going to flare those pains up. And the more alkaline we can keep our bodies, the more that it's going to reduce the amount of pain you have in your body. So even if you have arthritis of like your hands or your knees, if you stay to a gluten-free diet, it will reduce the amount of pain that you have in your hands. It just does. Some people are, they're not in pain or they're not as affected by grains, and good for those people. But like for the majority of people, we are. And even like if people drink beer, their stomachs bloat all the way out, and and they feel it and they feel kind of crappy, and so it does affect everyone on a low level. So I tend to try to lean away from those things. And I mean, things like packaging, I think you want to go as natural as possible, and we have the recipes for that. But we have to live in a real world where there's moms that are working, and they want to create healthy meals for their families, and so we want to be realistic about what are people going to do prep wise. What's something that realistically could be included in someone's diet. Um, you know, and just making these small changes, it really adds up over time. So just being really proud of yourself for making even small adjustments into your everyday life, going for walks, adding in one or two grain-free products, it's going to really add up for you as the weeks add on. It's really worth making the choice to make even a small change.
Right. And then maybe just a little bit at a time. I've worked with people that, start making whole food meals for, and they're not used to it. They're used to those fats and the added salts. And you just get to learn what works for you, whether it's slowly ease into it. But definitely the biggest key is make that choice for change, and then just
Right.
listen to your body as you're eating the grains. How do you feel? And then also, when it comes to grains, I've learned that the grains we have now is not what our mom and dad grew up with. It's
Yeah.
filled with tons of processed weed
Yeah.
killers and
Pesticides.
different
Yeah.
things that we're eating. So just the
Exactly.
importance of going organic, genetically modified whenever we can. And even then, I don't know if it's totally clean, but
Right.
try to do as
Well, at least
the
you're
best
getting
as you
like the
can.
Roundup out of your food. So they didn't know how
Yeah,
terrible that
that's
was.
a
And now
start.
we do, and they're still using it. So trying to stay more
Yeah, well,
organic.
and you
It's
think
going to be
of there
better,
is grains in almost everything.
Yeah. And gluten. Yeah. It's in almost all prepackaged food as a preservative.
Yeah, it's hard to get away from and
Yeah.
start looking at those ingredients and the labels and corn syrup and everything, and so many things that are not, I don't even know what they are. Let's just start there. If you don't know what it is on the label,
Exactly. I find that you have to too stay on top of your products too. That oftentimes products are, they start off being a really good product and really good company, and then they'll sort of sell out seed oils to mass produce to make it cheaper. So you have to kind of check back on the labels. And it's my belief that people want to eat healthy. People want to eat healthier, but it's very tricky when you walk into the store and they purposely try to trick you. That's why I've written all the brands out and sort of scoured the shelves for the better quality brands that I feel like are trying to reduce the amount of seed oils that they, or not have any seed oils at all, and that are organic and not including any additional pesticides that are going to cause all kinds of problems later on.
wow, right. Yes, I totally agree. Right up there, passionate about food. Rachel, you definitely have a lot of passion when it comes to just assisting people and knowledge that you've gone and expanded and found to be able to relieve pain, to everything from releasing that tissue, being mindful of what you're eating. You brought up exercising and the importance of movement for your body. What is the backgrounds? What gave you that passion that you live off of?
I think for me, it started, I was in PT school. I was in my kinesiology program. And my true motivation comes from my grandma. And I still refer to her as my best friend. She moved into my mom's house. She moved in to come live with us when I was like a teenage, early college years. And we used to do everything together. We would go, our thing was going to thrift stores. And she was a super active person. She loved walking. I mean, she ate the traditional Mexican diet, which is kind of terrible, but she was full of life and she was so active. And I watched her go through pain. She had a frozen shoulder, and then she had a whole other like slew of health problems. And back then there was no YouTube. There was no, how am I going to fix this? But I had that drive in me of how am I going to fix this? And so when I started first into therapy, she was my first unwilling client. And so I would like experiment on her and do all of this therapy, but I saw it change her life and basically get her life back and get her mobile and moving again and getting her out and getting us to be able to do all the stuff that her and I loved doing. And so, I thought to myself, I didn't know that it was going to turn into this huge company, and I have like, 14 employees and, all of these different services. And now we're, expanding online. I didn't know it was going to go there, but I did know that if I could affect positive change into somebody's mother, into somebody's grandmother, these people are the hub of families, and they're the leaders of families, and if you can help this person to live a more pain-free life, to live a better, a healthier life, then it's going to help the whole family. It's going to help everyone, because when the mom's not functioning to her 100% capacity, she's still got to do 100%. So there's not
Right.
really a break, so, or when the grandma's not, 100%, it's everything is still demanded of you. So if you can function with a lot of energy and vitality, and get yourself pain free, and get your life pain free, it makes the world of difference. And I saw that in her, and that just, it made an everlasting change on my life. And I think that's where I draw the motivation from to bring this message to everyone.
Rachel, what was the biggest shift you saw in her?
I mean, really, it was just being able to get back to what she loved to do. She used to do Ks and 10Ks, and she would walk every single day. And it's always my belief that people want to be healthy. They want to be active. They want to be with their families. And so it was such a huge shift to watch her going from being low energy and in pain all the time, and like you said, going on that pharmaceutical drug reel of having to take pain meds, and then the side effects from those, all those types of things that really weigh on people, and then watching her become pain free and just being able to be herself again, go outside and spend time with her grandkids, was so huge, and I think made such a difference, from me bringing in different foods for her to eat and doing different exercises, rehab type exercises with her, that it was life changing for her and life changing for me to see that.
Wow. I can just see you're such a blessing in her life, and how amazing that she was able to open up and trust you and allow you to guide her in making those huge life changes that allowed her to live life a bit more fully.
Yeah.
And for you to be able to now go into other people's lives and do the same thing. For somebody that's just sitting there saying, gosh, I don't know if I can do this, if I can make this change, if I can allow Rachel to, even do a Zoom call and stuff, what is it going to do for me? I'm beyond help. What motivation can you give them?
I would say nobody is beyond help. Like, let's just say, you're a -10 and you get to be a -6. Think how much more a -6 can do than a -10, And just give yourself a lot of credit. Like, if you buy the rolling pin, or you get a few new products and you're trying them out, huge kudos, huge bravo to you for taking those small steps. Like I was just saying, small incremental changes, little changes are what is sustainable to people. Like, in my book, Your Past is Not Your Future, I give a whole chapter about why diets don't work, because they're fleeting, because you're only doing it for a certain amount of time and then you're going to stop. That's why, I push the 80/20 rule, and for me personally, I live myself 90/10. So if you ever see me out and I have a frozen yogurt or something, that's my 10. It's got to be real, it's got to be sustainable, and it's got to be just part of your life, part of your identity and who you are, that you are a disciplined person, and tell yourself that. And those small wins will build confidence in you. They will build confidence for you to be able to do more. And it's because you're being honest with yourself. Nobody knows what you've decided to do. Nobody cares. And it only helps you. It only affects you. And if you can keep promises to yourself, disciplined promises that I'm going to make this small change and I'm going to make this small change, the more you hold yourself to it, the more confident you are in yourself that you can make changes. And, whether it starts off very, very small, and then it goes kind of more full bore, you'll change your life. You'll incrementally change your life. So it's not a quick fix. It's not going to be gone tomorrow type thing. We incorporate these types of daily exercises, but it takes time. It takes time for your body not be inflamed anymore. But when you start to see the result of that, and for some people, the joint inflammation, that can kind of go away instantly. But when you feel the results of that and you feel more energy, it motivates you. It motivates you to keep going. And you're like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
I just made this small change and look how much more I've gained, and so you really don't even miss the old way that you used to do things.
Yeah, I really like that. To just be honest with yourself. Because if you can't be honest with yourself, then who can you be honest with? I mean,
Right.
I like that. Yeah. So you brought up your book. Is that the ebook that you're including, or do you have another book that you've published?
No, that's a different book. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
tell
so
us
I have
about it.
yeah. So I have a book, a separate book that I had written years ago, and I had done a lot of speaking for that particular book, but a lot of the principles in it just still hold true. The ebook has a lot of more updated things in it, some more updated lists and things, but the original book has just a lot of principles that just still hold true, and it talks a lot about these more emotional type things, like why diets don't work. And basically, we use scheduling. We schedule everything. We schedule everything in our lives. And so why not schedule exercise? Why not schedule time? Carve that time out in your schedule and really look at it and say, when in the week can I work out? When is this realistic? So if can only see the time slots at 6 p.m. or 6 a.m., is that which one is actually going to be realistic? Which one can I actually do? Or what about your lunch break? Or what about Sunday? Or what about Saturday? For me personally, I have a small daughter, so everything I do is, it's scheduled, and it's time away from her. If I'm not fully there, if I'm not fully present, if I don't have the energy for her, then I'm doing her a disservice, as her mother, I feel. And so a lot of times I'll incorporate her into my workout. We'll do little workouts together. She's in gymnastics. She's 1.5. And I'll have her like walking, wheelbarrowing on her hands. And then she, watches me do push-ups, and I bring the weights down, and she has little weights and she pushes. Like, it's fun. We do it together. And that's the legacy. That's the message that I want to leave with her. That's what I want to teach her. Like my grandma left with me with her 5Ks. And you just stay active. You do what you can do in the time of your life that you have to do it.
Yeah, that's great. And I also see that you're using this time with your daughter, that it's not just exercise that's terrible and like, oh, I got to get this over with. You're turning it into play. And I
Hmm.
remember doing that when my kids were little, using them as weights, laying down on the floor, putting them on like the heels of my feet, like, doing leg lifts with my kid there. And they're having fun. I'm having fun. It's exercise. Yeah, I'm all about turning that exercise into something that's fun, that's playful. It's like now it's like I've got my boy Bodie back there sound asleep
Oh,
because
look at
we
him.
just got back from a walk because he's the one that gets me up and going. But yeah.
I think it's about building an identity, and we have a family identity. We go walking together as a family every single day. Obviously, my daughter is a part of that, and she's with us. She's been with us since day one on the stroller. That we as a family prioritize health, and that's something that we hope to pass on to her, and we hope that is a part of her identity, is that's a priority for us. And even on the days that it's raining here, we go to the mall and we walk circles around the mall, and we're like, hi to the shop owners as they're watching us walk circles around. But the fact that we can spend time together, as a family, and that we want to make fitness a priority, I think is going to be huge for her. So I have that message for parents that they don't want to take time away from their kids. You can incorporate your kids, or you can prioritize your health and rationalize too with yourself that this is actually beneficial to your kids. Really is who it's for. You want to be a healthier role model. You want to be healthier for them, and you want to be functioning at 100% for them, and just to be able to be present.
Yes. So, Rachel, what does it mean to you to radiate health and wellness?
I think the outside of you shows what's going on the inside of you. And when you radiate health and wellness in your life, people see it, and and really they're drawn to it and they want to follow it, and it motivates people, it excites people. So to me, it's about living it, and it's about living it in the most authentic way possible, and just showing everyone we're not special. Fitness people are not special. We're doing this and you can do it too. You can develop this discipline, you can develop this identity. It's not something that is developed overnight, but it is something that anyone can have.
Wow. And as you talk about what you're doing with your daughter, I'm seeing that definition just shine out from within you, that you're inspiring her to radiate that type of health and wellness as well. So beautiful.
Yeah, we got to keep the legacy going.
Yes.
Grandma to mom to daughter.
Perfect. Yes. Yeah. Beautiful. So, is there any other messages that you would like to share today?
I would love for everybody to get the free ebook online, and I think Christine will share the links with everyone. We're also offering a first complimentary session. So, whether you're in the San Diego area, we have a first complimentary in-home personal training session, or if you're online located anywhere, we would love to design and help you customize a program for yourself. And if nothing else, take the free session and and use it to kickstart you to develop a healthy living plan. We love for people to work with us, but we love even more than that for people to be healthy. So reach out to us online. We'd love to meet you, and you're just a friend we haven't met yet, so looking
Yes.
forward to that.
Well, I want to sign up. I might not be 55 yet, but I don't think that it matters. So you said that to begin with, 55 plus, but I feel like what you have to offer is really for anyone, any age. So how do I sign up? Where do I go?
Yeah. So you can go to our website. So it's Concierge Personal Training SD.com, or I'll include the ebook link with Christine. Yeah, we're super happy to have everyone. The Zoom personal training sessions, they're fairly cost effective. It's $30 for 30 minutes or $60 for 60 minutes. So we wanted to make it as available to everyone as possible, so that everybody can live this wonderful life of energy and vitality and freedom.
Wow, that is affordable. I mean, that's for one-on-one instruction. I don't
Yeah.
think you can go to any health care center and get anything that's that affordable. I mean,
No,
even a
you
yoga
really can't.
class is like $20 now. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yes.
Inflation's getting everybody.
I know, right. Well, Rachel, thank you so much for coming on. And I am looking forward, and I am going to sign up, and I want to see what else you have in store for me. And I'm going to go and get out my rolling pin and just do a little bit of self massage there.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much for having me, Christine.
Thank you.
Bye.
Mahalo for joining this fun conversation with Rachel Ross. I hope you found some great tips on releasing some pain in your body and staying healthy. So don't forget to check out the show notes to download Rachel's ebook and make an appointment with her for a free consultation. Also, if you're feeling stuck and deserve some guidance to support you in your health and wellness journey, I'm here to support you every step of the way as your personal coach. Please reach out to me by email at radiate.hw@gmail.com, through my website, radiatehealthandwellness.com, or connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, or leaving a comment below. And for more tools to support you on your journey, be sure to check out my books, Discover the Adventure of You and Health Beams. So both are available on Amazon as well as my website, radiatehealthandwellness.com. And if you know someone who could benefit from the messages shared here today, please share this episode with them. Just that simple act of sharing could offer the insight, peace, and transformation they've been seeking. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Remember, you know yourself better than anyone else. Trust your inner wisdom to guide you. And at the end of the day, you are the creator of your own life. You have the power to shape your life, how you respond to challenges, how you care for yourself, and how you show up to the world. So take a deep breath, tune into yourself, and trust that you've got what it takes to handle whatever throws your way and radiates health and wellness in all that you are.